Looking at the PulseChain ecosystem, so still flirting with the all-time lows. We have seen some upward trajectory over the last couple of days, but the all-time low of what, 4 zeros and a 333, or I think is what it's been. We're basically there. I mean, we're still in those lows, which is why I've been trying to DCA anything I can possibly get into the market ASAP. We can we'll look at the prices. Then I want to get into a comment that you actually made, Ewok, about these the other day. But we do have Pulse right now at 4 zeros and a 365. Pulse X is at 4 zeros and a 2, basically. That ratio, of course, Pulse X still holding up unbelievably strong against Pulse. Hex at 0047. E-Hex is at 0011. And incentive is at 187 right now. So, hey, I mean, we're at the bottom of the barrel. Like, and the interesting thing, and we don't have to get way too into this, but I was saying this to you guys the other day, like, if you think about, if you're looking at your portfolio and you're mainly like an RH token investor and you look at it now versus a calendar year ago, and you think of, we were at the all-time lows at this time last year. Pulse, anyway, is revisiting them now. Hex is there. But if you were heavily DCAing and, really kind of splitting between all the tokens, which is what we probably would have recommended and what we certainly did, you'd notice now that your PulseX bags are way, way higher because that ratio is just so much better. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head exactly where the ratio was a calendar year ago, but I'd be willing to bet that it was 1 to 3, basically, that ratio. And now, it's under 1 to 2 for PulseX. So, you'll notice that you have a lot more USD value in your PulseX now, whereas, your Pulse is pretty much back to where it was. So that's incredible, obviously. But yeah, if you want to take it whatever direction you want to, Ewok, we can kind of look at the Pulse chart, see if it looks like we're going to get out of this area, and if we're rounding off, maybe bottoming out and getting out of here anytime soon. But yeah, give me your thoughts on that, and then I'll bring up something that you said to me the other day that you can expand on too.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely we did too. We've come close enough. This would make essentially a triple bottom on this. So you had this one big green candle here, you had another touch back here, and then this one finally as well touched that level too. So it was that 0.33. It's close enough. It's within micro pennies. So I mean, it's definitely has the shape. I mean, if anything, a couple more days, if not a week or so, it's going to be a matter of watching for the run up here again. Anything bullish, and then if there's more sell-off, you're going to see it right away. I mean, there's still traders out there trying to play the game, and the thing that we can hope for is you get a nice big investor coming in on one of these where they think it might be a local top here or whatever, and try and turn it so that they can buy back in later, and it just runs away from them. That happens enough times, and a lot of these guys lose their ammunition to continue trading. So essentially, that's what this whole game is about: is trying to weed out some of those people before they have a chance to buy back in at a lower and continue the process. So, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is looking like again triple. You can almost count this one again as 4. The more times you hit a resistance, one of two things are going to happen. You're going to eventually chip through it, or it's just going to turn very, very hard to get through, and it's going to turn bullish. One of these times, I think, and I'm really hoping that this is the time that things turn bullish. Like I said, we're seeing Ethereum start to go, and this is on the same trajectory. So if Ethereum continues to rise, I think this is going to follow suit.
I think so for sure too, and also because we know that the Pulse versus ETH ratio has also been crawling up and been looking really good over the last few weeks. So that is definitely good. And you kind of just echoed what you were saying to me the other day in the chat, but you were saying that the more people lose hope right now, the more the ecosystem can really take off, and
Right.
the benefits of getting the big sellers all out right now, obviously, as we're at the lows. I mean, we're at the point where, I mean, like, it's essentially at all-time lows. I mean, we're splitting hairs by not saying that. Many people have given up hope and think it's a joke,
Yeah.
which, I mean, it's kind of not even that controversial as it would have been, a few months back, for somebody to say that PulseChain's a joke, it's failed, blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously we don't agree with that, but I mean, you're not triggering as many people saying that right now, I feel like, for the people that are participating in that kind of shit on Twitter anyway.
Yeah.
Um, you
Exactly.
know, so are you seeing that too, or does it just, or maybe am I just not on Twitter enough? But that's what it seems like to me, that like people that say that, it's just triggering less and less people, because people are just like getting kind of apathetic at this point.
Yeah, they're most of the people are gone, or
Hmm.
they're just not on Twitter anymore. They're not there to counteract the bullish. You've got the I don't want to call her a cheerleader, but KDP, she's always been bullish. Like, she's not really changed her tone this whole time. And you always see the people that try to respond and be like, "You guys are down this amount," or whatever.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
you are seeing less and less of that. So that's what happens. People lose faith, they just go away. So the sooner that happens, the more it can run, because you don't have that negativity, you don't have the FUD, you don't have the constant negative talk. So it definitely helps out. This Pulse X Pulse chart is looking really, really good too.
Yeah.
So you look at even the USD chart isn't bad. Um, it's looking a lot better than Pulse, because there was really only one bottom here for that. It's not
Hmm.
cooperating here with me, but back
Yeah, we
here in
lost another
September,
zero.
um, what's that?
Yeah, Pulse X. This is Pulse X you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
lost another. It added a zero, I should say. It'd be nice if it lost a zero, but yeah, it
right,
added a zero way back then. Yeah, it was
right.
crazy.
Yeah, back here, back in September is
Hmm.
was its true bottom. Whereas you look at Pulse and you've got four touches almost on the bottom level.
Hmm.
This one only had one, so it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's that buy and burn that's coming into play, but there was really only one touch on this level, and it's been up, and we're making higher lows uh, ever since. Each one of these
Yeah,
is a constant trend line up. So pretty interesting. And that's the
yeah,
USD level. And then you look at the, Pulse X versus Pulse, and it's just it's pretty
up
much,
only.
yeah, up only. I mean, you had these two little dips down here, but for the most part, it's just been rising. So that's very bullish.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really good to see that from both of them. And yeah, it's just kind of waiting it out still now. I mean, again, at these prices, I mean, just to think, putting in perspective, I said this last week, but we're a calendar year removed from the previous lows. We're basically there again for Pulse anyway, that we're there for Hex. Um, I mean, this is just, I have to buy. I mean, it's an automatic auto buy at this point, So, and even at the point, like, if you are somebody who like tries to take leverage, and I mean literal leverage, but like leverage in the way of like meme coins or other tokens and stuff, to get leverage on the ecosystem of ones that you believe in. I mean, for me, I'm almost back. I'm back to being more interested in just like buying the straight core tokens right now, just because everything is completely butchered. Other than, I mean, yeah, USD PulseX is pretty much butchered, I guess. But I mean, it's performing well against Pulse, as we've said, but everything is just so low right now. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm taking advantage of it. So